Hello, my loves. Hello to my beautiful community. Happy Wednesday. How are we doing today? Drop in the comments. Let me know where you're watching, how you're feeling today, how your week's going. I'm going to give it just a minute, see a couple people jump on. Oh yeah, looks like a couple people automatically jumped on. Awesome. Hi guys. Hope you're having a great day, great week. Let me know where you're watching from, how your week's going. I am on here today because I am doing 75 Hard for the third time, and I have had a couple different people ask me in my DMs, why am I doing 75 Hard again? Because if you've been following me for a while, then you know that I have attempted 75 Hard in the past and it didn't really work out. And so I even did a YouTube video about why I tried to do 75 Hard before and what went wrong, right? It's on my YouTube channel. If you go to the link in my bio after this and you want to watch it, scroll down and you'll see the link to my YouTube channel. You can go check it out. I did a video on there. So yeah, I've been getting lots of comments about, well, why am I doing it again? So let me start from the beginning, tell you a little bit about my history with 75 Hard. Then I'm going to tell you what 75 Hard is, and then I'm going to tell you why I'm doing it for the third time. So let's see, where should I start? I first learned about 75 Hard when I joined the Lion's Den. So the Lion's Den, I know you guys see me post about it a lot. That's Sean Whalen's private coaching group for a bunch of different types of people. There's about 3,000 of us in there. And I first heard about it from him. He always talks about how it was completely life-changing for him, that he did 75 Hard and his body changed, his mindset changed, everything changed. So he tells all of us in the den, you guys need to do it. It's going to be such a great thing for you all to do. And so he's very motivating for me. Like, I really feel very connected to him, and I love that he's my coach. So whenever he tells me to do something, I always know that there is a good reason for it. So 75 Hard, doing it was always in the back of my mind as something that I wanted to try. So the first time I attempted it was, I think, the end of November, beginning of December. It was right after Thanksgiving, and I just decided to jump all into it, go all in. And if I live in Utah, those of you who don't know, so it was like prime winter time. So, I'm outside, I'm doing my workouts in the cold, in the snow coming down, snowflakes blowing in my eyes, the whole thing. And I made it about 33 days in my first attempt before I failed. And again, if you want to know more about my first experience and why I failed, you can go watch the video on my YouTube channel. So that was really hard for me. Failing that was really, really hard because, again, I made it almost halfway through, and it was something I really, really, really wanted to do and see through, and I didn't do it. So there's definitely a period of time where I felt, really hard on myself. There was a lot of shame. I was on here a lot telling you guys that I was doing 75 Hard and kind of keeping you posted on my journey. So there's also an element of, I'm being embarrassed about not being able to be successful with it when I had been so vocal about the fact that I was doing it. So that was really hard for me. Flash forward a couple months, I did my second attempt, and actually none of you guys even know this unless you really paid attention to one of my podcast interviews that I recently did where I talked about that I was in my second time of doing 75 Hard. But if you listened to it and didn't catch that, or you haven't listened to it yet, then you wouldn't even know, because I did not come on here and tell you guys that I was doing it. I just wanted to get through it. I didn't want any of the public embarrassment or shame that came along with if I couldn't succeed and I didn't make it through. So I started my second attempt in February, and I made it 2 weeks. And that was right around the same time that I was moving. I got diagnosed with adrenal fatigue. There was just a lot of different elements that contributed to me deciding that, okay, yes, I have to just bow out of doing it this second time. It just wasn't the right time for me and my health and what was going on with my life at the time. So I just decided, okay, I have to, I have to quit. Can't do this right now. So as I've continued to be in the Lion's Den and I continue to see new members join and they're all doing 75 Hard and people are just I feel like it's just surrounding me, and I'm a big believer in whenever the universe presents things to you, especially multiple times, there's a reason, there's a message there, there's something to look at. So the fact that I'm just seeing 75 Hard just pop up all over the place, there's always just been this kind of nagging feeling of I have tried that twice and I couldn't make it. And I do believe in the power of the program and what it can really do for you. So I was at some point I do really need to do this. Okay. So what happened was a little over a week ago, I was scrolling through our Lions Den app. So we have our own app for all the members. And a new person had joined, and they said, hey, I'm going to start 75 Hard like tomorrow. Does anyone want to join me? And so again, another message from the universe. I'm like, I have been thinking about this. You know, I feel like I'm in a much better place mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically to be able to take this on again. So I replied back and I was like, yeah, I'll totally do this with you. And I think there's a group of like 7 of us from the Lions Den that are all on this thread, and we are all going through this 75 Hard challenge together. And having the accountability and also just having the daily messages, like we're constantly in there sending each other messages, hey, going to do my workout, hey, drinking my water. It's been such a great opportunity to create community among such a small group within the den, but also just a great opportunity to hold ourselves accountable with the help of other people. And I didn't have that the first time. I didn't really have like a strong support system. I was trying to just do it all on my own. So I definitely think that has already made a difference. So let me tell you a little bit about those of you who are like, I have no idea what 75 Hard is. What is she even talking about? I want to tell you just really quickly what it is so you have context to what I'm saying. So 75 Hard, first of all, a lot of people think that it is like a fitness program. It's not. It's actually specifically a mindset program. So the idea is that you have a set list of tasks that you accomplish every single day for 75 days with 0 deviation and 0 compromise. So that means you are setting a goal for yourself that you are going to stick to for almost 3 months straight, which is a long time. That's a big commitment to make, right? You can't, there's no breaks, you can't like stop and then start. If you fail, if there's one day where you miss one task, you fail and you have to start back over at day 1, right? So there's a lot of pressure. It's a very intense thing. There are elements to 75 Hard that are physical, like that are food and fitness related. So yes, it is possible to see like a physical transformation from the beginning to the end. So that's why a lot of people mistakenly think that it's like a fitness program, because they are seeing people post maybe their before and afters of being on 75 Hard and they're like, whoa, there are some huge transformations. But really, you know, the program creator and Andi, what he tells us, you know, in all of the podcasts and stuff that he's done about it is like, this is first and foremost a mindset program. It's challenging yourself to set a goal, set expectations, to stick to it just ruthlessly, just go completely all in, 0 deviation, 0 compromise. So 75 Hard, I'll go ahead and list to you what the tasks are. So, and you can do them in any order. Like I'm not saying them to you in the order you have to do them every day. It's just like, I'm just going to tell you them as I think of them. So one of the tasks is you have to drink a gallon of water a day. And this is definitely something that was the most challenging for me in the first 2 times that I attempted 75 Hard. And I'm happy to say, and I'll talk more about this when I talk about what 75 Hard has been like for me now, but it has definitely been one of the easiest tasks for me, which is so weird because the first 2 times it was so hard for me. And I was like, I remember multiple times my first 2 attempts with 75 Hard that I would like not pace my water correctly throughout the day and then end up like basically binge drinking like ounces and ounces of water before going to bed, just like pounding all this water and then being up like all night peeing. It was miserable. So I definitely am so happy to say like I've been finishing my entire gallon of water by like 7 p.m., which is amazing. So drinking a gallon of water is one of the tasks. One of the other tasks is you have to read 10 pages a day. And in my first 2 attempts, this was my favorite task because I love reading and I just never was making it a priority. So having it as one of the required tasks for 75 Hard means that I have to make it a priority. The catch is with the reading though, it has to be a like self-help, self-improvement, nonfiction book. So it's not like you can read like a psychological thriller or Harry Potter. It's like it has to be something that's going to improve you, improve your life in some way. So right now, I personally am reading a book called Simplicity Parenting. I'm really enjoying it. And then I have a stack of books next to my bedside that I can't wait to dive into through the course of the rest of 75 Hard. So 10 pages a day. You also have to choose a diet to stick to. So when I say diet, that doesn't necessarily mean like restrictive, but it has to be like a way of eating. So for example, I'm doing, and I've been doing the last couple times I attempted this, a modified paleo. So it's basically fruits, vegetables, meat, eggs, rice, beans, nuts, and seeds. Very simple, no processed food. So even though I'm doing paleo, I'm not eating like paleo treats or paleo bread or anything that's like a processed version that's like been paleofied, that's not on the table for me. It's like just, you know, taking it back to basics, fruit, vegetables, again, rice, beans, nuts, seeds, and meat basically is what it is. So you can choose whatever you want. There's no like set diet you have to stick to. So some people in the group that I'm in are doing keto. Other people are doing like just tracking their macros. Somebody else I think is doing like the carnivore diet. So you can really choose like whatever you want to do, but it has to be something that makes sense, right? So like if you're trying to do macros, like a macro counting as your diet, but then like you're allowing yourself to like eat like waffles like every day, like that's not going to work. Like it has to be something that's going to challenge you in some way to be disciplined with your food intake. But other than that, there's really no restrictions to like what kind of diet or food plan you can choose. In addition to that, you can have 0 cheat meals. So it's 75 days straight of whatever diet you choose from the beginning is a diet you're going to stick to through the end. No deviation, no like, oh, but I'm just today, I'm going to have some chips. It's like, no, whatever diet you set from day one, you carry that through the 75 days. You also can't have any alcohol, which obviously for me is not an issue. It's like status quo, just going about my day anyway. So that's like the first thing I always check off every morning is like, yep, not going to have alcohol today. So got that task done. But I do know that for a lot of people that can be really challenging. So I definitely see how it's a great task to have on the list. And it does contribute to like the physical transformation for people who do tend to drink a lot and then they go to not drinking at all. So they definitely are going to see some changes in not only their body, but their mindset. Another task you have to do is you have to do 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes each. And one of them has to be outside. So no matter what, if it's raining, snowing, you know, flooding, it doesn't matter. One of your workouts for 45 minutes has to be outside, which again, going back to my first 2 attempts, I was trying to do it in like the dead of winter. So I have pictures and videos I could show you guys of just literal snowflakes blowing in my eyes, being, you know, like 20 degrees outside, just completely bundled up. All you can see is like my eyes. So, I mean, I definitely think that I got some grit from the first 2 attempts, even though I didn't make it all 75 days. The first 2 attempts did help me with some grit. Just experiencing the outdoor workouts in some of those elements was absolutely insane. So 2 workouts, let's see, am I missing anything else? Water, oh, progress picture. So you have to take a progress picture every day. And this is interesting too, because for those of us who kind of struggle with body image issues or don't feel super comfortable looking at ourselves in the mirror, or definitely looking at ourselves, like looking at pictures of ourselves with just like a bra and underwear on is like, can be really uncomfortable. So again, it's another element of an opportunity for a mindset shift there, when you can, you know, look at your body, accept it as it is, and also want to improve it and love it and have all of those feelings all at the same time. And so taking the progress picture too is really cool, because there's a 75 Hard app, which I use and I highly recommend if you're going to do 75 Hard, and you upload the picture into the app. And so you can look every day, you can like scroll through and watch your body like change as the days go on. So even me being on day 8, I looked back this morning at day 1 and I can already see like changes, which is really cool and like so motivating, inspiring to just like keep going. So yeah, so those are all the tasks that you have to do when you're doing 75 Hard. So now let's get to, why am I doing it again after failing it twice? Why can I not just like let this go? And also, what changes am I making that I feel are helping me be successful this 3rd time around, as opposed to the first 2 times that I did it? So again, I mentioned this a little bit ago about feeling like the universe has just been sending me this message. Like, there is a reason I'm supposed to do 75 Hard. There's a reason. I do believe so much in the power of the transformation. And I've just heard from so many people that have been able to accomplish it and see it all the way through, that on the other side of it, like, you're not the same person. Like, the challenge of putting yourself through 75 days of challenging workouts, of, you know, sticking to a diet, of drinking that much water, of reading. It's just like hitting all these tasks every single day takes discipline, right? It takes commitment, and it takes the ability to prioritize your day and prioritize what is really important for me to get done as far as these 75 hard tasks, versus like not scrolling social media, not like binge watching Netflix. You know what I mean? It's like making sure that you're getting your tasks done every day is something that you really need to like commit to. And so I'm just like super interested to meet the version of me that's on the other side of this, because I do feel like I have a strong mindset. I do feel like I have grit and discipline, but obviously I failed twice already for a reason. So maybe I don't have as much as I thought that I have, or I definitely don't have as much as I would like to. And so I feel like going through this 75 days is really going to challenge me to prioritize myself, which is something that I'm not very good at and something that I'm trying to get better at, because it requires me to, again, a perfect example I gave someone yesterday is like, okay, you have to do 2 45-minute workouts, right? I usually try to get one done like first thing in the morning, like basically as soon as I wake up, after I meditate and journal, it's like immediately go do one of the workouts. You still have to find time later in the day to do another 45-minute workout, right? And how much easier, at least for me, is it to sit and say, oh, but like if I just skip that and just continued working, like I'd be so much farther ahead in 45 minutes, right? And I'm always prioritizing work or cleaning or whatever, insert bullshit that's distracting me from my goals, right? I'm always trying to find distractions and things to do that I think are more important, when really the most important thing in my life should be me and my health. And so it's really challenging me to like walk away from the computer, put down the phone. Like the other day I went for a walk and I literally I didn't have headphones. I had my phone and I had my bone broth, and I was just like walking through my neighborhood, exploring, like all around my apartment, and without listening to anything, without the distraction of music or an audiobook or anything like that. So it's really challenging me to prioritize myself, prioritize my health, get outside, get in the sunshine, right? Be in nature, get some vitamin D. So that's been really a good thing for me. And something I really am appreciating this time around with 75 Hard. And so I want to tell you a couple of things so that's why I'm doing it a third time, right? Is I really just want to meet the version of me that's on the other side. So let me tell you a little bit about some adjustments that I'm making from the first 2 attempts that I did until this time, and why I feel like it's going so well. Because honestly, so many of you that have asked me, like, why am I doing 75 Hard again? And like, how's it going? I've responded to some of you that like, you guys, this has actually kind of been like easy for me, which is so weird. And I'm not trying to jinx myself, like, 'cause I know that, some days shit's going to happen, that I'm going to have to figure out like, how am I going to fit in these workouts, etc. And that has come up, right? There has been a couple times where like, I don't have help with the kids and I'm outside and I'm like, hey guys, we're going outside, we're going for a walk, right? Or I'm in here and I'm doing a workout and they're just like all around me, and my son is like getting on my back while I'm doing push-ups, and it's just like, you just got to roll with it, right? You just got to do it. So I've already had moments where it has been challenging, don't get me wrong, but in general, I feel like my commitment to seeing this through is so much stronger, and I feel so much more ready than I did the first 2 times. And maybe, I don't look at my first 2 failures as a bad thing. I think that when we fail at anything, there's an opportunity to learn something. There's a lesson there, right? So I look at my first 2 failures as an opportunity to learn in order to succeed this third time, right? So I'm taking what I learned the first 2 times and applying it to this third time. So when I say that it feels like it's been easier, it's just that I think my mindset around it is different. I just am so committed. Like, I will not fail this again. Like, I can't explain to you guys. I don't care what happens in my life or in the world. I am going to succeed, and I'm going to see the 75 days through. So a couple of things that I'm doing differently than as opposed to the first 2 times I did this. So with the water specifically, I kind of talked about this a little bit ago. I am prioritizing the water over everything else, meaning from the moment I open my eyes, I am drinking water. And I usually have like 40 ounces down before like 9 a.m., which is great because then it just sets me on a good pace for the rest of the day. I do want to add something that is so important about drinking. Oh, someone said 10 days in on 75 Hard. Woohoo, I love that. Awesome. One thing that I am doing with the drinking of the water that I really want to make sure I mention to you guys, and this is just good to know in general, it doesn't really matter how much water you're drinking, but especially if you're going to do 75 Hard, please make sure that you are adding minerals to your water. I will get on my stories right after I'm done with this live and after it's posted, and I will show you guys the kind of minerals that I add to my water and also tag where you can get it from. But you want to make sure that you are adding minerals to your water, because if you are just drinking plain filtered water, especially a gallon after not drinking that much for like an extended period of time leading up to it, you're going to be flushing out a ton of minerals and electrolytes from your body. And it's like going to be very depleting. Your body's not actually going to get any of the benefits of the water. Your body's not going to actually be able to utilize or absorb the water. So you want to make sure that you are adding minerals and electrolytes to your water to make sure that you are staying mineralized and hydrated. So again, I'll show you on my stories what I've been using. So that is the first thing. I am making sure that I have minerals in my water every single day. Also making sure that I stop drinking, that I am done with my water by 7 p.m. And this has helped me so much because I have had multiple nights where I haven't had to wake up at all to pee in the middle of the night, which is amazing because like I said before, I was like downing so much water and then like having to wake up all night and like pee, which was like the worst thing ever. So prioritizing the water first thing, starting first thing in the morning. Another thing is the workouts. So I am so sore, you guys, right now. Like I can barely walk. It's like ridiculous. But just as a side note, because I didn't feel like that at all the first 2 times. And I felt like I was really just kind of like going through the motions a little bit the first 2 times. However, I will say that back then my fitness wasn't where it is now. So like the first 2 attempts I did with 75 hard, I was coming out of a state where I was not I hadn't been very physically active, whereas I have been very physically active these last few months. So there's been a lot less of a kind of need to ease into it. I've been able to just like go all in on the workouts. But I have released this expectation or this internal need to like make them a certain way or like make sure that my workouts are a certain thing or look a certain way, if that makes sense. So instead of being like, they don't have to be 2 super intense 45-minute workouts every single day, right? Walking is a workout. So like, I think every single outdoor workout that I've done the last 7 days has been just walking outside, right? Listening to a podcast or just walking without listening to anything. Walking counts. It's just 45 minutes outside. You can choose to do whatever you want with it. I would love to get to the point where I can do like incorporate some more running into my outdoor workouts, but honestly, I've just been so sore from the first workout of the day that like I just need the walk. And then for the other, like my indoor workout, my 45-minute workout, I've been having just so much fun letting it be whatever it needs to be that day. So instead of trying to follow like a specific routine of like, oh, on Mondays I do this and on Tuesdays it's like, okay, today I want to go to yoga. I'm going to do an hour of hot yoga. Today I'm going to lift. Today I'm going to do some squats. It was like the other day when I was talking about how I had to do my 45-minute workout in my apartment with my kids climbing all over me. I just had like my dumbbells. I had my free weights, I had like my ball, and I just like put a circuit together. I just like made it up as I went. I was like, oh, I just feel like doing some arms. Oh, I'm just going to do, some legs or whatever. So really just not having any attachment to like my workouts have to look a certain way and just being committed to showing up and working hard for 45 minutes and allowing, like if I want to dance, then I'm going to start dancing in the middle of my workout. It's like just having fun with it and allowing myself to have fun with it has been such an amazing transformational thing for me personally, to show up every day and want to do the workouts. Whereas the first 2 attempts that I did 75 hard, there was this element of like, oh, I can't believe like I still have another workout to do. Like I haven't felt like that at all this past week. It's been like, sweet, what am I going to do for my second workout? Like I'm so excited to do it. Or like, I can't wait to listen to this podcast, or I can't wait to, whatever it is, try this new movement I found out, or this new repetition or whatever it is. So that's been really, really cool to like not feel like it's a drag to have to do it, but being like really inspired and motivated to want to do it. Again, just totally different mindset than the first 2 times. Another thing that's been easier for me, which you guys might be like, wouldn't this be easy for you anyways? But the diet, like again, yes, you would think that would be easy for me because I eat well pretty much all the time. However, the first 2 attempts, that was not the case. The first attempt I had, it fell over Christmas. So getting through Christmas and like not eating all the, treats and normal things, baking the cookies and stuff with my kids, that was really, really hard. And ultimately one of the contributing factors to me failing is like, I just couldn't do it anymore. It was like the willpower wasn't there, right? It's been such a different mindset shift this time because like earlier this week, my kids wanted waffles one day and then they wanted to make gluten-free sugar cookies another day. And I had zero problem making them for them. I didn't want any. I wasn't craving. I didn't even look at it and thought it looked good. I was just like, I'm so committed to what I'm doing. I have no desire to eat any of that. And I just like made my smoothie or ate my carrot sticks or whatever it was. It was like, I am feeling so good, again, like emotionally, physically, spiritually, that there is nothing that I feel like could shake that foundation of wanting to see this through. And so the diet has been, says it paused. Sorry guys, my low battery thing popped up. So let's see, what was I saying? yeah, so the diet has been like so much easier this time around, which is just like such a weird thing. I'm just like not used to that because the first 2 times was so challenging. I'm trying to think if there's any other, the one thing that I will say I'm not as into as I was the first 2 times was the reading, which I think is weird because like I said, I do love to learn. I do love to read. I think I'm just so kind of like intellectually taxed right now with all of the work that I have on my plate. I feel like I'm constantly always reading something or consuming information or listening to a podcast or whatever, that sometimes reading, it feels like a lot of effort because it's like my brain just feels like I can't take any more information in. So I've also been trying to prioritize that just first thing in the morning, which is not always, it doesn't always happen that way, but I try to do it that way so that I know that like the reading's done and my brain isn't like totally taxed yet, so it can withstand getting that much information in a day. But in general, I don't know if you guys have any questions that you want to drop in and ask about 75 Hard or about my journey, but I just thought this would be helpful information. Because I've gotten so many messages from you guys about like, why am I doing this again after I, so publicly failed the first time, didn't even tell you guys about the second time, now I'm doing it the third time. And I just also wanted to like inspire some of you guys that if you have heard about 75 Hard or are feeling the calling to make some kind of lifestyle changes or mindset changes, or you're looking for an opportunity to really challenge yourself and commit to yourself, grow grit and discipline, I highly, highly, highly recommend doing 75 Hard. And if you have any questions about how to do it, I can, go over all the requirements again, or give you any other tips or anything that I'm doing. Let me know, just send me a message because I'd be more than happy to support you and guide you kind of like through that journey as best I can. I want to give a shout out to any of my Lion's Den people who are watching this, who are in my accountability group, our accountability group we have in the Lion's Den. So happy to be going through this with you guys. It has been completely different experience having the accountability and the support of community versus doing it by myself. The father of my children, Darren, those of you know Darren's doing it with me too. He's been crushing it. So it's just really cool to have people in my immediate kind of circle that are doing it with me, that we can support and motivate each other and inspire each other and and make sure that we get it done. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Have an amazing rest of the week. If you have any questions, again, just drop a DM, let me know, and I will talk to you guys very soon.